kind of crazy how these punks are being sold really, really high price. And I was one of those guys that didn't understand what the CryptoPunks were, and I didn't understand why they were crazy expensive to begin with. For me, I thought it was like just one artist just doing week by week drops and selling it on OpenSea. But what I didn't understand was the whole movement behind CryptoPunk. And honestly, I don't know where to start. Like, not knowing about CryptoPunks was getting on my nerves because I keep seeing them pop all over Twitter, and a lot of people are talking about it in the NFT world. So I wanted to do some bit of research and understand what is the whole movement and cult behind it is, and how as an outsider you can appreciate this whole movement as a revolution, really, that's going to change the art world forever. What if I tried to sell you this Sharpie for $1 million? Would you buy it? But what if I told you that this is the same Sharpie that George Washington used in his office in 1789? And that's the whole thing about CryptoPunks. It's just that attachment to it. It's the whole movement behind it. It's the sentimental value behind the punks and how it actually shaped the whole NFT world. Let's dig back into the history a little bit. So the CryptoPunks were made by Matt and John, and they have a studio called Larva Labs. And early in 2017, John was playing around with the character pixel generator, and he found out that he can make really interesting looking characters with them. But they didn't know how to utilize that until they found Ethereum blockchain. And that gave them the idea that you can make them unique and ownable by anyone that's using NFT as a non-fungible token. And from there, they were trying to check if it's actually possible to do it on the blockchain. And that's how the whole project was born. So initially they released 10,000 CryptoPunks on the Ethereum blockchain. They kept 1,000 for themselves and 9,000 out to the public for free. So these 9,000 were taken quickly by everyone. So right now the only way to take them is either you trade them, or if you get lucky and someone can give it to you. But here's the cool part. Every one of the 10,000 punks have their history tracked in the Ethereum blockchain with a full ownership certificate. And the history can be tracked publicly by anyone. And each of those owners can sell their CryptoPunk to anyone over the world with using the smart contracts. But at the time, the ownership of digital art was not really clear how it's going to be. So this whole project was an experiment. And they were the early adopters of the whole non-fungible token on the Ethereum blockchain. But the interesting part was, back then, we didn't know if having a digital art on the internet was a good idea because it's out there. But when you think about it, museums take the artwork and put it in their museum. They basically have to have a lot of stuff in the background to make sure that's happening with no issues whatsoever. We're talking about insurance, shipping fees, storage fees, security, and so forth. Having the art in a museum requires a lot of money and a lot of maintenance. But when it comes to NFT, it's quite the opposite. Everything is on the internet and it's free for everyone. All you have to do is just have that contract in the blockchain and everything is good to go. And that's the beauty of the NFTs. Instead of loaning the art out to a museum for some people just to go in and see it, anyone can see the artwork. And the ownership of that art is undisputed, is definite and absolute. So if you ask me, why is that whole movement a big deal? Well, simply because they were the first adopter of the ERC 721 standard. And it was what is the NFT market is all about. We are in such a great time for an artist to be alive because we have all of these tools available right now where it wasn't available like 10 years ago. You can have an audience, collectors to go and check your work. Back then you had to do so much to get your art in a gallery, but now you can just host a website and have your gallery. And with using the smart contracts, collectors can buy your artwork and it's over. It's done. If you're feeling upset that you missed out on CryptoPunks, Larva Labs actually just released another project. They call it the Me Bits. And the Me Bits is kind of like a double down on what the CryptoPunks are. They released 20,000 Me Bits out in the blockchain. Now it's available for you to buy and they're not very expensive as CryptoPunks. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can check out in the description below. So seeing all this gets me so excited because if it's replicated once, it can be done again. And it's so cool seeing a lot of new artists emerging and doing something very similar, trying to be unique and original, making something really cool for everyone to enjoy. One of the projects that I'm following right now called Space Apes, and it looks super cool. There are a lot of other projects similar to it, and they are doing something very unique, especially in Twitter and Discord worlds. They kind of stand out from the bunch because they're fun, unique, and creates a community. I'm just gonna speak for myself. As an introvert, it's very hard for me to go out and make something and put myself out there, and it's very nerve-wracking to go and press that send button. You have to have this community to help you and support you to go out in the world and show your work. Knowing that there are people out there that are doing the same thing, it kind of gives me this ability to understand that, hey, maybe it's not all that bad. You just need to put your work out and show your work, and eventually something good's gonna happen. So this is my message for all of the NFT artists. Just stay creative and keep making your art, and eventually you'll be noticed. But just be courteous about it and have fun with it, because if you're not having fun, then what's the point? So if you like this video, I've made another video about how to mint your NFT on OpenSea, and I think you'll like it. But until then, just take it one day at a time, and I'll see you in another video.